Hey everybody, welcome back to Awesome Finds. Now on today's program, I have a mix of records, actually a bunch that a viewer gave me, a viewer named Josh, he gave me, and then I have some that I picked up myself. So we're gonna start with the ones that Josh gave me. Now he sent me a huge box. I was not expecting this. He said he was going through his collection, letting some records go, and wanted to send some my way, and I was like very thankful. I said, thank you so much, you don't have to do this, but he went ahead anyway, and I was just blown away by the sheer number of records he sent my way. I'm not gonna show all of them. I'm gonna show some of my favorites off, starting with this Teddy Pendergrass album from 1979. This is his third studio release. Actually, I'm sure most of you will recognize this for one reason or another. Some probably have seen this in thrift stores. Others may have seen it because of Freddie Gibbs' 2018 album. Very different music. Teddy's music is just wonderful 70s slow jams, like late 70s slow jams. Just beautiful music. There's another photo of the man on the back there. I don't know if you can tell, but the record is, it's a bit beat up. I'll suffice it to say, I'll clean it up. But in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy this record, and I think you guys should too. So up next, I have the mini moods of Murry Wilson. Now, those of you may know that Murry Wilson is the father of the Beach Boys, literally. I love easy listening from this era, but this pushes it for me. It is over the top and cheesy. It is very saccharine. I feel like I got a cavity in my ear just listening to it. But I like it because of the novelty. It's a cool conversation piece. I also have the Sun Rays only album, which was after Murry left the Beach Boys, he tried to recreate it with a band called the Sun Rays. So that's another fascinating sort of music history tangent you can go down. This one's in very good shape, actually. I wouldn't say near mint, but this is definitely I'd say VG. By and large, I don't recommend this LP unless you're really a sucker for easy listening music. It's really more of a, oh, that's interesting, huh? Check it out with caution. All right, following suit, we have George Benson's 15th studio album titled Breezin from 1976. As I get older, I'm starting to come back around to records I first wrote off in my youth, and this is one of those albums where I think I owned it when I was a teenager, and I just couldn't stand it for whatever reason, and I quickly got rid of it. But this is just fantastic, kind of smooth jazz funk. It's really good instrumental music. His guitar playing's phenomenal. And now I really appreciate this record. So there's side one, there's side two. If you haven't listened to Breezin, highly recommend checking this record out. So up next I have Spyro Gyra's third album, Catching the Sun. This is from 1980 on MCA Records. Now this is it's a gatefold. I'm gonna show it to you this way. Look at that saxophone hanging out with the little fairies. And it's funny because the second song on side one, I guess it's called Cockatoo, sounds like the underground level of Super Mario Brothers, the original. And apart from that, this is very like proto yacht rock, kind of not quite smooth jazz, but just heavy instrumentals. And it almost, for those of you who like city pop, I feel like you would really enjoy this record. There's side one, and there is side two. I definitely enjoyed this record. I think you will too if you're into any of that stuff I mentioned at the top. All right, so next we have Belafonte Sings The Blues. This is from 1958 on RCA Victor. Apparently this was his first album to be recorded in stereo. I think also I listened to it when LA was raining. It was raining at the time, so something about that just made me feel real cozy, and the rain and his voice and just the minimal instrumentation, it all wrapped together, and it just made for a fantastic listening experience. So it's not calypso, so don't expect the banana song with this record. I'll show you the vinyl. Let's see. Here is side one. It's actually in really good shape. It just needs to be cleaned, which tends to be a theme for me. You know what I do? I wait till I have a whole bunch, and then I do a big batch all together before I file them all away. But yeah, this one will clean up well. I'm excited for it. And it probably says a lot about me. I'm playing dirty records, which you shouldn't. But I do have a a needle or a stylus that I use for such occasions, you know, just for testing records to make sure I even like them, because I don't want to go through all the trouble of cleaning them if I'm not going to keep them. But this one I should definitely keep and clean. And anyway, Belafonte Sings the Blues, really great record. Check it out. And lastly, from Josh, he gave me Deena Martin's 4th album, Destination Moon, from 2013 on Big Fish Records. And what's cool is that there is a duet with Dean Martin. I'll show you the record real quick. Here is side A, and there's side B. I say if you're a fan of crooner style music like Sinatra, Martin, all those cats, you're definitely gonna enjoy this record. Check it out. And now we're gonna move on to records that I picked up, starting with not quite a holy grail, because this is a more modern reissue of Space Escapade by Les Baxter. This originally came out in 1958. And this is on Wax Time Records. This is made in the European Union, and it was a DMM, direct metal mastering. This sounds fantastic, and what's great is that it actually has 4 extra tracks that expand on the original album. So this is like basically the original track listing, but this is the actual track listing down here. So there's a total of 16 tracks. But I gotta say, my favorite song on here is Saturday Night on Saturn. Excellent song, probably the highlight of the album. Overall, it has a very holiday for strings, heavy orchestration, lush, cinematic, mood music-esque. I mean, would you expect anything less from Les Baxter? That's exactly what it is. Although the cover art is much more extravagant than the actual music. It's pretty tame, especially when you compare it to someone like Esquivel. But this cover alone, I think, is why this is a $100 plus record for original copies, because it's so just like amazing, right? And me loving cocktails and sci-fi and 50s stuff. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing to me, and I'm happy to finally own a copy of it. Here is side 1, and there's side 2. I like how they sort of made the labels opposite for side 1. At least the colors, they flipped them for each side. I really recommend it. I love Les Baxter. He's one of my top band leaders from that Atomic Age era, along with Arthur Lyman and Esquivel. I really enjoy his music, so check it out. Next, I have Van Morrison's 2nd album, Astral Weeks, on Warner Brothers Records from 1968. This is pretty much a brand new reissue, and the reason I bought this was because this is one of the albums that Nick Drake had in his collection before he died. It's not like the last record he listened to, that was Beethoven Concerto, but this is saw heavy use in his day and age, but phenomenal album. If you've never heard it, you've probably heard Sweet Thing, but overall, just it really does have that kind of timeless, modern kind of feel about it. It sounds so good. So yeah, here is part 1, and there is part 2. However you can get this album, I totally recommend adding this to your collection if you don't already have it. It's just, so very good. All right, last up I got a couple of Beatles records, because you can never have too many Beatles albums, am I right? And this first one is the original version of Yellow Submarine. This is the, I guess the 2012 remaster that came out. This was taken from the 2009 digital remaster. But this one's cool because it does include the liner notes of the US version, which I like that they included that. I love this extra artwork. And here we are. This is side 1, and there is side 2. Overall, it feels very short because there's only 6 Beatles songs on here, and one of them, Yellow Submarine, was already on Revolver, which was, it's kind of weird hearing it on another Beatles album. I prefer the later songbook that was put out, I think, in '99. And I actually do prefer this cover art to the songbook cover art. But musically, I find that it's a better album, even though it pulls a lot from different records and such. I just think that's like a better listening experience. But this is, obviously it's a must own. It's Beatles Yellow Submarine. You should have it. But I don't know if I 100% recommend this particular pressing of it, but if it's all you can find, I say pick it up. And lastly, I have another copy of Let It Be. So this is again, the 2012 stereo pressing, which was taken from the 2009 remaster. But yeah, there it is. It's still sealed. I forgot to open it, but it's probably because I have 3 other versions at this point. So, and it's also not my favorite Beatles record to listen to, but there you go. All right, everybody, that will do it for today. I want to thank all of you for watching. I also want to thank Josh for sending those records to me. That was very kind of you, sir. Until then, be sure to let me know what you think of all these releases. If you're planning on picking up some, if you have any suggestions of what I should pick up next, let me know. Until then, I'm your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Everyone, thanks again for watching this video. Now, if you want to see more, I put an Awesome Finds playlist right there, as well as a video that YouTube will choose for me.